I've been involved with DEEP since just after I was first diagnosed, to be honest, which is about 5 years ago. I've got mixed dementia. I've also got arthritis and emphysema, and other hidden illnesses you can't see. Jane says I'm a greedy bugger. Anyway, I got invited to a conference in Leeds by Steve Milton, who's one of the CEOs of Innovations in Dementia. And we went along, and I wasn't bothered about going, because who wants to know about dementia? Not us. And it was really, really interesting. But what was interesting was I saw other people with dementia speaking on stage. And I thought, wow, I can do this. I still have a life. And it gave me inspiration. Because I didn't think I had a life anymore. I thought I was lost. Finished, completely. And it's about giving people that confidence and that information to come out, as it were. Because we've got excellent customer service, as long as they know that you need help. So anyway, DEEP inspire people, and they bring people together. So we set up our own DEEP eventually, our own DEEP group. And in the meantime, DEEP was supporting me to attend and speak at conferences. And my wife come along, and my PA and travel agent. And it's great, because the more people that see people like us lot talking out there, the more people think, I don't have to sit down and wait to die, that I can do this as well. It inspires other people, encourages other people. So we set up our DEEP group, and it's called the Halcyon Quest, because that's the name of the pub we meet in. Some people like afternoon clubs, like an evening one. It's 6 till 8, but usually we've got to drag one of our members, who's 82, into a taxi at 11 o'clock to go home. And she can drink us under the table. Fantastic lady. And our DEEP group is for all ages, 6 till 8, as I said. And it's for anyone, really. It's not just a diagnosis of dementia, it's anyone that's got a neurological condition. So it covers a lot of people. We've got one member who's got, he had a car crash and he lost 20% of his brain. And he's now experiencing dementia-like symptoms. But the good thing about the group, we started off about 3 or 4 of us, was it? We're now, I think some nights we can get 25. It costs us nothing to meet. We just chose the quietest pub we knew in the area we lived in. It's on the bus route, so it's accessible for people. And we have people come from all over the place now. The landlord was very pleased about having some custom. And I said, as long as you serve coffee and tea for those that don't want alcohol, I said, we'll come. And we do. It's great. We support each other. The carers support each other. And the people with dementia support each other. We advise each other, we help each other. It started off as just a social get-together, but from that, we go all over the place. An 88-year-old friend who attends has got dementia, Alzheimer's, with a stepdaughter. She said, I want to do what you're doing. So we went to her house and sat there, a few of us, and we put something together for her, with her help about her life and her history, and we took her along to dementia-friendly community events. And I says, I'm not speaking, by the way, this lady's speaking today. And she went up there, and she was absolutely amazing. It's just about giving people permission to act, almost.
It's not even my bloody phone, sorry.
Her daughter said that she dined out on it for months. She's now gone on to have the inspiration and encouragement, because she didn't talk about her illness, to even a ladies group. Throw it out the door.
Now this is exactly what a DEEP group is. Things happen and it doesn't matter.
She now goes around churches on her own accord and speaks to people about her dementia and her life so far. She came along with 2 other members, 3 members, 4 members. Lots of us. A big group of us went to the Alzheimer's Europe conference, because do you know what? Safety in numbers. We all looked out for each other. And one couple that come with us, it was their first holiday in
7 years.
7 years.
Since diagnosis.
Since she was diagnosed, because they didn't think they could go away anymore. And this is what DEEP groups are about.
As it turns out, that was that lady's last holiday, because she's now at the stage where she's moving into permanent residential care. So they have, her and her husband have such
amazing memories.
A weekend of
that long
fantastic
weekend away, yeah.
memories, where they went on a roller coaster in the Tivoli into Copenhagen. Fantastic last holiday memory.
Her husband thought she'd really enjoy it.
She screamed
She
all the way
screamed all the
around.
way around, and the man that was operating it thought she was enjoying it so much that he sent her around again.
3 times.
But she did see the funny side once she calmed down. A younger member of our group, how old's she's caring for her mother.
21-year-old young carer for her mother who's in her 50s.
Yeah, she's caring for her mother. Her mother's only in her 50s. We're going with her tomorrow, and she's attending Westminster to speak at an event there about the problems that carers have with work, and especially associated with young carers.
Work and the caring role.
That again, a DEEP has facilitated that, being in a group. And DEEP don't run these groups. They don't have anything to say about the groups. They're just there for advice. They're there for a little bit of funding now and again. And they're there for support. And they're there to try and make sure that the group is sustainable and lasts. We run our own groups. They just help us. That's the big difference between groups and these groups. Our group now, we've all exchanged our phone numbers, obviously, so we can support each other. Jane, it's a memory issue. Jane texts us the day before and on the day to make sure that we all know about it and remember. But we've gone on to have lunch clubs. We go on to have shopping trips. The peer support we get from each other is amazing. Advice and the sharing. Caring is sharing. We offload to each other, especially you guys, don't we?
Yeah, we've just had one gentleman, young on set, 63 years old, who became all of a sudden quite ill, and within 4 months he died. And the whole group has metaphorically put their arms around his wife. She's still coming to the group because we all know each other, we all know the situation, there's no embarrassment. So these things happen in life. But the group is there to support each other whichever way. As we heard from Dementia Diaries, it could well be the other way around. At the moment, the 82-year-old carer, she's struggling with her health. Now, I shouldn't make assumptions, but her health, it could be that we're going to have to support her husband, who has the diagnosis, through a difficult time. That's what we do, we're just there to support each other. And from that leads to other things. Speaking at conferences or going to Parliament, because one of us gets an email looking for somebody, we've immediately got a group to go to say, you had to give up your work because your caring role, you'd be ideal to speak there. And that young girl has been chosen to speak to the Department for Work and Pensions and the Minister.
And it's passing the baton on, because we're an old hand at this, the group of us that are here today. And we're not going to be around forever, so we need to encourage other people that are just coming to diagnosis to carry on the momentum that we've all started, and this is what DEEP does again. And there are different groups out there. There's people that just meet and have a tea and coffee and some cake and have a chat and support each other. And then there's real activists that have come out of these groups that are changing things. Our Dementia, Our Rights was brought by a DEEP group, policy and think tank group, they were called. And there was a bunch of activists that got together. And out of that, we put a submission into the UN about the Convention of Rights for Persons with a Disability. There's DEEP groups that started off campaigns about blue badges, and they're really getting out there. There's DEEP groups that told the Welsh Government that they weren't including people with dementia in the Welsh strategy. And we were included in the end. We're really making a difference, and it's by having this network of 100 groups, and we do get together, groups get together, but, and it's having that strength. The more the voices, the larger the voice, and that's what DEEP does. So it's absolutely fantastic. You got anything to add?
No, just as Chris says, ours is a group that meets in a pub once a month. We've chosen the last Tuesday of the month, because we did choose the 4th Tuesday of the month.
That's confusing.
But sometimes it's 4 weeks, and sometimes it's 5 weeks,
Yeah.
so we made it simple. Last Tuesday of the month. I did telephone people and text people for the first 6 months. After that, it became self-sustaining. And although it's been Chris has been instrumental in getting this group together. We had to build the relationships, we had to take the people, we had to be very proactive, but now the group is self-sustaining. We don't have to phone round everybody anymore because they've created their own WhatsApp group. So it's happening automatically. There is no facilitator in our group, we're all the facilitators. It does need, I was going to say, somebody, maybe a carer, to actually at the beginning to be proactive. But you were equally proactive. People went because of you. But it was my memory that, right, last Tuesday...
Dementia doesn't make you stupid, it causes you cognitive problems. You know, so yeah, it's not about that. But our next great adventure is we're going to go on, I don't know what coaches you have in Chester, but in our way, it's foil coaches. You know, these coaches that take you on trips. So our next big adventure is the whole group's going to book to go on a coach trip. We're going to go away for the day and overnight and see how we get on, because like I say again, safety in numbers, we can all help support each other and give each other a rest as well. And if it works out okay, we're going to go away for a long weekend and then maybe a week.
Because what happens then is if somebody does have a, we would say more complex need, or a, what was it you called it, something challenge?
Care challenge.
Care challenge. Then nobody's bothered. We're all used to it. We each, there's one lady that has to have her pads changed regularly. Well, we just go in the ladies with her because it's very difficult for her husband to go in. The same if it's a gentleman, one of the husbands going, we support each other like that. And now I've forgotten what I was going to say. Anyway, it'll come back.
That's your age.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Oh,
Yeah.
Just a wee point that I don't think I got across, and you mentioned DEEP does provide funding and does fund people to go to conferences, to speak at Dementia Congress, etc.,
One of the
etc.
biggest conferences in the UK is Dementia Congress, which is usually held in Brighton and sometimes in other places, but mainly Brighton. And DEEP always try and get some of the newer DEEP groups to attend there, and they're paid expenses, and all transport's helped with and arranged, and it inspires people to meet other people.
Supported to attend that place, and not in a wrapping up in cotton wool. The person gets as much support as that person needs. But that you just reminded me what I was going to say. Our trips away, we're now getting funded out of our direct payments. Now in Wales we've got the Social Care and Wellbeing Act, Wales 2014. You've got the Care Act in the UK, so I'm not sure of the I think it's section 52 or 54, something like that, where your direct payments are to pay for these trips. And we've had successes in that our direct payments pay for our motorhome, because that's our respite. We go away, we do these things using the motorhome. But other people have now gone on to use their direct payments for something that social services have gone, can't have it for that. Well, actually, yes, you can. So the information that we can share, that we all learn, is massively empowering, particularly for those people with dementia that don't have a carer.
Can I just ask, because I see so many people that are isolated, but I know there's a lot of people that I'm not seeing that are just under the radar. How are people finding out about your group? How are
we advertise, our group ourselves, we advertise it on social media. You know, we've all got kids that are very active, but I am as well. And then we advertise it locally in newsagents. We print our own posters and stuff, and we put them up in the memory services and what have you know, just locally. And then as soon as you've done that for a couple of months, then you don't have to do it anymore, because it's word of mouth.
Word of mouth. Word of mouth is by far the best thing, but pro-action.
Our CPN, we get, you know, we make sure they're on. And
we go to memory cafes and tell people.
Rachel.
On the Dementia Voices website, there's a list of all the groups that are members of the DEEP network on the website with the contact details as well.
And a lot of people advertise their groups on the Alzheimer's Society website, which is free to advertise on Dementia Connect. And then also in Wales we've got one called Dewis, which is free to advertise on. And then what else was Young Dementia UK, that's another group.
But people don't always
people
know.
Can list their groups on.
Chris has a great saying that people don't know what they don't know. So the best thing is word of mouth, it's telling people. But then don't just tell them, oh, they meet on the last Tuesday of the month. Phone the person up, get the facilitator, for want of a better phrase, to phone up, because you need to build a relationship. I'm not going to walk into a room full of people I don't know. Whether it's 2 people or 20 people, I don't know that. But if I've already had a connection with somebody and got their name, or have somebody to go with me, we've taken people to other groups
Is it
and
transport?
then introduced them and step
Yeah.
back. That's why we like buses, because of the transport, don't we?
Yeah, brilliant.
Brilliant.